Hey, and welcome into the House of L podcast. I'm Laurence Holmes. Thanks so much for hanging out. We are brought to you by the fine folks and Remy Martin. This is my city. Remy Martin, still warm enough for my favorite Remy cocktail. You should try it. Remy and ginger beer or Remy and ginger ale. Got a lot of cool stuff happening with Remy this football season. This is not a game conversation today. I want to talk about kind of the under the radar pivot that the Bears made to letting you know that they want to move to Arlington Heights. This has been a really long road to get to the place that we all thought the Bears were going to end up in. It's really strange. Like what we've been through, like going back to a year and a half ago and that very strange pep rally that took place at Soldier Field as the Bears were trying to convince everyone that they were going to stay put in the city. I want to talk about that for a little bit because that's one of the more interesting things to me, not for the Bears, but the city at large and politicians who you're now going to see, and rightfully so. Like you're going to see politicians from the city of Chicago. They're going to have some feelings about all of this. They're going to have some feelings about whether or not the city is being taken care of. And I'm not convinced. And I know that there have been some people who have been like, the Bears can't leave Chicago. I am not convinced from people that I've talked to, fans that I've talked to, that this is really a big deal. I know that there are plenty of people that don't enjoy the Soldier Field experience. And as a Southsider, like, I'm just not going to fight you on it. Like, I think that it's a lot easier than people getting to Soldier Field is a lot easier than people make it seem like. But whatever, like you've got your issues and your biases about getting down to the lakefront and the traffic and everything else that has to go along with it. I would warn you, though, that 6-7 years from now, when this place is hopefully built and you're able to go watch games there, Arlington Heights is very close to O'Hare. It's also very close to Schaumburg. There's going to be a ton of traffic. And no matter where it is that you go watch football games at, there is a ton of traffic. I don't think that people use enough of the public transportation that's available for them to get to the game. I was talking to Marty Leonards from XRT about this yesterday. The people talk about, well, they're going to have a metro stop in Arlington Heights. There's a metro stop at Soldier Field. It's in our building. Like we know, like the Prudential Plaza, you can take the Metro Electric, whether you're coming from downtown or if you're coming from the South Burbs, you can take the Metro Electric literally to the steps of Soldier Field. And I don't know why more people don't do it. I did it last year when I went to go see Bears Rams. I took it from Hyde Park with 2 stops later. I was there at the game. But whatever. People, there are times when I wonder if people really do want to find solutions to problems or if they just want to complain about it. That's neither here nor there. I don't feel like I'm seeing a ton of Bears fans be up in arms about the Bears possibly leaving. I'm more, if you listen to the show or this pod, you know, I'm more angry about the concept of the White Sox leaving the South Side because of the actual identity of them being on the South Side. But that's also another podcast. By the way, thanks for everyone who is listening on Spotify or Apple. Come on over to the House of L YouTube page. Please come be a subscriber. We'd like to get to 10,000 by the end of the season. We're about 7,000 now. It doesn't cost you anything. All I'm going to ask you to do is sit through my videos. That's it. But if you are on Apple and Spotify and you're audio only, that's cool too. Just please write us a 5-star review. It helps with placement. But I haven't really seen fans be like, they can't leave. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. Because think about it, like you're going to go there as a fan. You're probably, if you're not a season ticket holder, maybe once a year, maybe twice. Like maybe you get a preseason game and a regular season game. So it's not a big deal. To me, it's not a big deal where a football team is. I think where a baseball team is and the convenience of a baseball team, like that matters more. But this pivot that the Bears have done, it's fascinating. Like some of the quotes, like here's one of the quotes that Kevin Warren sent out to season ticket holders, and then obviously like it got out into the wild. The Chicago Bears belong to more than just Chicago. We belong to the entire state of Illinois, the nation, the world. We are at a pivotal juncture of the Chicago Bears franchise to build a new stadium, our future home in Arlington Heights, which will require zero state money for construction, close quote. Now, that's a big step and a major pivot by them. The idea that they don't want any of the state's money other than infrastructure, which it would be fair. Like, you know, I'm not big on public money for private enterprise, but if you're going to pay for the stadium yourself, if you have the means to pay for the stadium yourself, knowing some of the things that you're going to need to have a stadium work, it makes all the sense in the world to ask for, maybe you need more lane or lane extensions. You need traffic. There's all sorts of stuff that your stoplights, whatever. You're going to need stuff if you're them. And I'm okay with that. They've got a fight on their hands, though. There are going to be a lot of politicos in Chicago, people who represent Chicago at the state level, that are going to fight for their piece of the pie. And you can argue what their motives are. And I think it's more fair to worry about the motives of politicians than anyone else because of the control they have over the purse strings and the places that we live. We should ask, like, what's your motivation here? And is your motivation outside of taking care of the people inside of your ward or inside of your district or inside of your county or inside of your city or inside of your state? I think that's fair, but you're going to hear him. Cam Buckner was on our show, and he kind of lets you know that, like, he feels like the Bears need to do something for the city. I would argue and have that the jobs that are going to, and this was one of my big complaints, like with the mayor, it doesn't matter if the Bears are in Cook County. From what I've been told by people inside of the unions that would be working on this project, those are going to be people who live in Cook County or live in Chicago. They're definitely going to be people who live in the state. So I don't have a problem with it. The job site doesn't need to be in Chicago for Chicagoans to work, for people who live in Illinois to work. So wherever it is, as long as people are, those jobs are going to be available, then I am in support of that, especially if it doesn't cost the state any money. But I do wonder if George and the board of the Bears really thought that this has gone as well as it could have gone. It seems to me that this is the place that they should have started in. And the fact that here we are a year and a half later into Kevin Warren's tenure, that they're just now getting to the point of, oh, we should probably make this appealing to everyone in the state because we're going to have to get money. I don't think that Kevin understood the political landscape of this area. And I know that in itself is a loaded conversation. But any of you who grew up here or live here now, whether you think it's completely corrupt, to what level of corruption you think government, and particularly the state of Illinois government, is I understand it. There also is a way that it works and that you navigate it. And I don't think that they thought that part through. I still think that they're having a hard time understanding that there is a different, the way that city politics works is different from county politics. And county politics is different from state politics. And as they live their lives out in Lake Forest, I'm not sure that they understood that, one, not everyone in this state is a Bears fan. That there is a schism. And I talked about this in a pod about the Illini earlier this week. You can go back and check it out. It's on Apple and Spotify under House of L. There's a schism between Chicago. Let's call it the collar counties, but we all know that we could get even more specific than that, because there are plenty of people in the western suburbs who don't like Chicago. Okay. Same thing for the northern suburbs. But there's a difference between what happens and what we think is beneficial for the collar counties versus what's beneficial for Decatur or Springfield or Tuscola or Cairo. Like, this state is huge. The population is here in the collar counties, but this state has a lot of different interests once you get south of I-80. A lot of different ones. And I don't think they took that to heart. I don't think that they did a good job of understanding. And maybe they got advice from smart people that were trying to explain it. And that's what I've been told, that there were plenty of people that have been trying to walk them through some of this stuff. And they've just been like, yeah, well, we're the Bears. So what they going to do? Well, what they're going to do is not support you. They put their support behind a mayor who is unpopular. And I think that since then, Mayor Johnson has done a lot better at focusing on the tasks that are more important than the Bears getting a stadium. But they thought that getting the mayor of Chicago on board with their ideas was going to be the thing that pushes stuff through, without realizing that the mayor and the governor haven't been on the same page in forever. And that's still an issue. That's still a thing that, if you go and read, like, Mayor Johnson and the Chicago contingent honestly hasn't done a great job. His own, Jeanette Taylor, who's the alderman of the 20th Ward, she said that they hadn't really done a good job of reaching out to Springfield. And now they're doing that, and that's good. But I don't think the Bears understood the politics of this. And most things, when we talk about sports, people want to take the politics away. This is strictly political, what's happening. And understanding the landscape is important. And I'm not sure that they did. I'm not sure that they understood what all of this is about. And it is difficult to navigate. It is frustrating. That frustration is why a lot of people don't trust government at all, is because how many governors have gone to jail? How many governors of this state have gone to jail? I used to live in the 20th in Jeanette Taylor's ward. I voted for Jeanette Taylor. All three of the four aldermen before her went to jail or were indicted. That's at the very local level of city politics. We've had governors go to prison. So it's a dirty game. And I'm not saying that the Bears should get dirty just to get dirty. I'm saying that you have to understand how things work. Now, maybe they're there now and maybe they figured it out, but you have to understand that this thing is not easy. And I've talked to a bunch of politicos throughout all of this. I have talked to people in the governor's office. I have talked to former politicians. I've talked to current politicians about this. And the one thing, the one theme that I have gotten is the Bears underestimated what it would take to get this to work. Now they've got some work on their hands, and maybe because they will be singularly focused. Now we're not messing around. We're not messing around with we might be in the city and we're gonna do the, maybe we'll do something at Michael Reese, or we'll go down to 87th Street, which, by the way, if they wanted to get something done, that's where they should have gone in the first place. But that's also another discussion for another day, because people don't like to come far south. Y'all are really getting a lot of my political views today, huh? Anyway, I hope that this turns out to be all the things that Kevin Warren wants. If you look at the building in Minnesota, he knows how to build a building, someplace that's fun and beautiful and will attract other things to it. And it doesn't matter where the Bears are. They'll still be the Chicago Bears. Everything, like, I was talking with Speaks about this the other day, and he's like, yeah, like, well, all those cool shots of Chicago, are they going to have that when the Bears are in Arlington Heights? Yeah. Yeah. The same way that when a Cowboys game happens, they still show you downtown Dallas, even though the stadium is in Arlington, Texas. The same way that when the 49ers play, all the way up there in Santa Clara, they still show you the Golden Gate Bridge and San Francisco. The Giants and Jets play in New Jersey. They don't show you New Jersey skyline stuff unless it's looking back at Manhattan from Jersey City or Hoboken. So those are small things to worry about. The bigger things to worry about is whether or not this can get done in a timely fashion. And I'm hopeful that we will be able, that the Bears will figure out where they have gone wrong politically, and they will make this thing happen. And hopefully it is good for everyone. The Bears fans, the state, Cook County, the city of Arlington Heights. Vaya con Dios, man. That's what I'd like to have happen. I hope you enjoyed my political rantings. I occasionally like to talk about some of this stuff. And it's a good thing I have my own podcast where I can do such thing, right? This is fun. Maybe I'll do more of it, but I figured this was important and you were thinking about it. And if you weren't, maybe I gave you some cool stuff to think about. I appreciate you. I will see you next time. Peace.